A man in Florida is probably dead. He's presumed dead because his bedroom was swallowed by a sinkhole. Now, this is something that happens quite often in Florida, and it's actually a very, very heartbreaking story because not only is this man presumed dead, but as he was, sinking into this hole, his brother was trying to save him, but he was going to fall into the hole. So authorities had to pull him away from his brother. So he saw the top of his brother's head, as he said, sinking into the ground as authorities were pulling him away.
Oh God, man, that's devastating. He's only going to think about that the rest of his life, and that's the harshest thing to hear. And so this guy is in his house.
He's in his bedroom.
He's in his bedroom, and all of a sudden, boom, the ground collapses underneath him. That's what a sinkhole is, and pulls him underneath. How could you have possibly anticipated that? Obviously, you can't, right? So one day you go to bed, the next day, boom, you're dead under the ground, right?
So the victim's name was Jeffrey Bush, and he was only 36 years old. But you're totally right. I mean, oftentimes when we do these stories, we always come to the same conclusion. Life is so random, and you never know when something like this is going to happen to you. And as I mentioned, this does happen often in Florida, and a lot of the times the reason why it happens is because the home might be built on top of like a salt bed, and there might be an underground river that makes the ground unstable, and then the weight of the home, of course, will cause the sinkhole to happen.
Right.
And it's depressing because you don't know, you have no idea. And
well, that's where I would sue for negligence in the most dramatic way, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can't sell me a house and not tell me about it. I mean, if he assumed the risk, that's different, right? But if they knew that we're building on a place where a sinkhole is entirely possible and they don't tell you, and then one day you wake up and you're swallowed up by the earth, man, if that happened to a family member of mine, that's exactly why you have lawsuits, to make sure that doesn't happen to anyone else again, right? You got to pay a significant price for that. So then you don't just go, I'll just build wherever I like. Oh, there's sinkholes there. So what? It swallowed up your dad.
Yeah.
No. There's got to be some significant consequence to that.
I don't know exactly how it works. Like, I don't know how the testing happens when new developments are built. So I can't really speak to that. But I do know that a lot of times this is a natural disaster. Sometimes sinkholes can be caused by human activity.
And that's really important. And so don't get me wrong. If it's in a place where it could not have been expected, sometimes life happens, and you don't have to sue people just because something unexpected, something tragic happened to you, because maybe it was just a freak of nature, right? On the other hand, if it could have been expected, it's in a place where because of the conditions, sinkholes are more likely, well then, that's exactly when you have to be more careful. If you live in a hurricane area, you have to build houses that could withstand hurricanes. Earthquake area, buildings that can withstand earthquakes. That's exactly why you have government regulation, so people don't get swallowed up by the earth, right? And then the last thing is the conclusion we have in every one of these stories, like the guy who was killed when in Vegas the other day, when the Maserati got shot up by the Range Rover, and Maserati crashes into a cab
that has a passenger
in it, and the passenger and the cabbie are both dead. I mean, you're in Vegas, you're taking a cab ride, boom, your car explodes, you're dead. You're in Florida, you're sitting in your bed, and boom, the ground opens up and swallows you up alive, right? Eat that banana green pie, man.
So appreciate.
I had one earlier this week. I'm YOLOing. Okay, you never know.
Appreciate your life. Appreciate being here. And another really important thing to take away from this story is appreciate those you love, because you never know when they can be taken away from you. And not to get too schmoopy, but just tell the person that means the most to you that you love them and appreciate them. It's important. We forget and we take those people for granted every day.
Yeah.